Now at 9, what you might not know about the process for electing a president in your state. Plus, new information in a police pursuit turned car crash in Joplin, and
the city of Girard is in phase 1 of a project to make the city's sidewalks safer. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Voters head to the polls on November 5th to decide the next president. But on Election Day, are you really voting for a candidate or are you voting for a party? KOAM's Samantha Walker sat down with the Missouri Secretary of State to learn more about how the process of electing a president works.
When we vote in November, we will be voting to decide which party gets to choose our president. Is really what happens.
As voters head to the polls this November, their votes will help decide the next president of the United States. Some states, such as Missouri and Kansas, list only the presidential candidates on their ballots. Others, like Oklahoma, make it clear that voters are technically selecting the electors who participate in the Electoral College. Voters are not truly voting for the next commander-in-chief. Those electors were selected by their political party in each state, whether it be Democrat, Republican, or Independent.
If you vote for Kamala Harris, then what you're really doing is you're voting to allow the Democrat presidential electors for Missouri to vote. If you vote for Donald Trump, then you're really voting to allow the Republican presidential electors to vote.
To win, a presidential ticket must receive 270 votes from the electors. Arkansas and Kansas both have 6. Oklahoma has 7, and Missouri gets 10 electoral votes. All 4 are winner-take-all states. This means all their Electoral College votes will go to the candidate who wins the popular vote in that state. The Electoral College will meet December 17th to select the next president and vice president of the United States of America. Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now next week, we'll continue our conversation with Secretary Ashcroft, learning more about how election results are certified. And Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at our weather.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a hot one for us today. In fact, we tied a record high, 92 degrees, the record 92 set back in 2006. Started at 63, average high 76 degrees, so well above where we should be for this time of the year. Let's go outside. 73 in Joplin, 76 in Pittsburgh, 78 Stockton, 74 in Neosho, 77 in Miami. Much of the same in Parsons. And look at this, our temperatures, they stay hot next couple days. Tomorrow, lower 90s for highs as we go into Saturday. Lower 90s for highs once again, so it stays hot near record highs as we go through the next couple days. Not much going on, pretty quiet. It's going to stay pretty quiet as we go through the overnight hours tonight, eventually down to 62, back to 77 by 10 a.m. When are we going to cool down? We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thanks. Joplin police released new information on a crash stemming from a felony traffic stop yesterday, including fresh charges. Officers attempted to stop the vehicle when they suspected the driver was intoxicated. Police gave pursuit, but the chase ended when the vehicle crashed into another one at the intersection of 20th and Connecticut. The driver of the other vehicle suffered minor injuries. Both the male driver and the female passenger in the fleeing vehicle were taken into custody. Authorities say the driver, Dakota Bell of Alba, Missouri, is formally charged with Valentine's Law, which is aggravated fleeing a stop, in addition to felony DWI and persistent and felony possession of drug paraphernalia. The passenger, Jessica Van Kirk of Webb City, was arrested on active felony probation violation warrants for drug-related charges. Today, area first responders and medical personnel had a different kind of event to respond to, a free lunch. The event took place right here outside the KOAM studio. We were proud to host some honored guests for a simple little cookout as just a small token of our appreciation for everything they do for our community. The city of Girard is working on a project to create safer, more walkable sidewalks. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
One of the sidewalks the city of Girard plans to repair is the one near the Girard Public Library on West Prairie Street. Sophia Stapleton, a librarian, says this will increase safety for kids walking to the library.
A lot of kids and teens walk in this town, so, them being able to do that safely.
She also says this will make it much safer for people with disabilities as they navigate the sidewalk.
Even sidewalks are really beneficial for people with disabilities. It can be kind of the typical disabilities you think about with that, like people in wheelchairs or using mobility aids. But it can also be really helpful for the visually impaired.
Actually attended the Special Olympics yesterday, and I was there talking to some of the participants and their parents, and they were really excited to hear that the city was making efforts to install ADA compliant sidewalks.
The city of Girard is planning to make repairs to sidewalks that have cracks and are a hazard, and they're also planning to build new sidewalks in areas that need them.
People in wheelchairs especially, the ramps will be there and the sidewalks will be wider to accommodate them.
The city administrator says she already has heard positive feedback from the community about their sidewalk repair plans. Reporting in Girard, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The city of Girard has a plan for specific sidewalks they are planning to repair, such as on West St. John Street. They hope to get the project completed by the end of the year. Coming up, recovery efforts still underway.
More help is arriving here in North Carolina as the rescue efforts here continue. In Swannanoa, North Carolina, Caroline Elliott will have the latest details coming up.
More people in the U.S. are living to 100, including former President Jimmy Carter, who hit that milestone on Tuesday. Ideas and ways to live longer, healthier, happier, and stronger continue to evolve. UT experts say there are ways to boost your chance of becoming a centenarian. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on how to live healthier for longer.
It's a milestone more are reaching, and the number of people who hit 100 in the U.S. is expected to more than quadruple over the next 30 years. But when it comes to living healthier for longer, experts say age is more than a number. Instead, aging is marked by metabolism changes, cells no longer replicating, stem cell exhaustion, meaning they aren't replenishing as quickly, and declining immunity.
Each one of those hallmarks of aging, as they're called, is a potential area for intervention, where you could actually extend lifespan by focusing on those things.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta says that while we do age a little every day, studies show there are bursts of molecular changes that accelerate aging, and he says they happen when a person's around 44 years old and again around 60 years old.
Those things start to change primarily at those ages. So those are ages where you should really start to pay attention to aging more than you normally do.
The CDC says healthy aging means making good lifestyle decisions and developing healthy habits. That includes nutrition, having a healthy, balanced diet, keeping our minds stimulated, getting enough sleep, staying physically active and socially connected and engaged with others, and managing stress. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Food and Drug Administration says Eli Lilly's weight loss and diabetes drugs are no longer in a shortage. Mounjaro and Zepbound have been in a designated shortage since 2022. They both trigger the hormone GLP-1 and curb hunger. Eli Lilly has invested heavily in expanding in manufacturing for its weight loss and diabetes drugs. Since August, the company has been pushing to end the shortage designation, saying the drugs are now commercially available. While the FDA no longer considers the medications to have supply issues, the agency warns patients and prescribers may still experience disruptions. More and more American kids aren't getting the recommended childhood vaccinations. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says a record number of kindergartners were exempted from those required shots for the last school year. Health experts say that leaves more than 125,000 young students unprotected. Measles vaccination among kindergartners is already below a federal target, and in July, cases of the disease in the U.S. were triple that of all of 2023. Vaccines for other diseases like polio and tetanus have also dropped. And data reveals the majority of those exemptions were non-medical. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, President Biden continues his visit to areas affected by Hurricane Helene.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a hot one today. Tied a record high, which we don't want to do that in October. Temperatures into the 90s for highs. Great shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We are looking downtown, 7th and Joplin Street, northeast through downtown. Clear skies. That's what we're going to see as we go through the evening hours for us tonight. But it's no secret, we need some rain. And our new drought tracker, it comes out every Thursday and it keeps getting worse every week. It's dry in our northwestern counties. This light brown is a moderate drought. This orangish, rusty looking brown is a severe drought. And then from Veneta to Bartlesville, we have an extreme drought. So we need some rain. Unfortunately, we don't have any in the immediate future. Also warming up, mid 80s yesterday, lower 90s today. We'll do the 90s once again, probably over the next 2 days. Currently, it's 78 in Stockton, 74 in Neosho, 75 in Bentonville, Miami 77, 76 in Yates Center. Here's 7th. Here's Rangeline, 73. Southerly winds 5 to 10, but we've had gusts a little bit higher than that. A little breezy for us today. It's not bad right now, but these winds, not so much tomorrow, but especially Saturday will start to pick up. So still southerly wind for us on Friday. And then Saturday, we're going to get gusts kind of 20, 25, maybe pushing 30 miles per hour at times. Clear skies, nothing going on. We're going to stick with the clear skies for us tonight. Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri all looking pretty good. Besides this weak little wave rotating through the Great Lakes out to the west, a whole bunch of nothing. And that nothing is our weather as we go through the next several days. Let me walk you through time by morning, sitting into lower 60s. As we warm to the noon hour, mid 80s. Afternoon hours, check this out, especially our southern counties. Northern counties, you guys, we have a front that's dropping through, so you're going to hang into the mid to upper 80s. So Fort Scott, Yates Center, Chanute, even Pittsburgh near 90. Once you get to Carthage, Joplin, Columbus, south, we're going to go into lower 90s for afternoon highs once again. Tomorrow evening, clear skies, dropping back, lower 60s once again. Saturday, the windy day, everybody heats up back into low, if not mid 90s near record highs once again as we head into Saturday afternoon. Day planner, Friday, 62 in the morning, 85 by noon, high temp, 91 degrees. Let's jump into four-state Friday night high school football. We're going to be holding on to some decent weather. A little warm, kickoff 81, by the fourth quarter down to about 72 degrees. But again, we're going to have clear skies, so it looks fantastic as we go into Friday evening. 92 Saturday, let's go 87 on Sunday. A little bit cooler Monday, 81. Very slight chance for a few showers Tuesday. Slight chances for rain next week, late next week into next weekend. Man, we need the rain. So hopefully, as we get a little bit closer to it, our rain chances will increase. Yeah. I promise by the middle of October, we're going to see a big switch.
I think I'm looking forward to that.
I am too.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug. Well, more aid is starting to trickle into hard-hit areas of the southeast as the death toll from Hurricane Helene passes 200. Fox News correspondent Caroline Elliott has more from Swinona, North Carolina.
Plan to be here as long as the community needs us.
Plenty of help starting to get to hard-hit areas of the southeast after a direct hit from Hurricane Helene 1 week ago. There are hundreds dead and missing, hundreds of thousands without power, but we're also seeing plenty of hope and resilience here, with neighbors helping neighbors as the damage assessment continues.
It was amazing to see that community come together. Seeing those people risking their lives for others is very, very important.
There's no telling how many homes and businesses were damaged or destroyed. Some hard-hit communities were essentially wiped off the map, but despite the widespread devastation, most folks in the region say they want to stay and rebuild.
I feel so bad for everybody, and everybody says, I'm sorry, and everybody's sorry, and now it's time to go back to work, and let's get it done.
FEMA and other government agencies are now deploying in big numbers, but transportation remains a major issue. Hundreds of roads are still closed,
meaning food and water are becoming scarce in some isolated communities.
President Biden visited the region for a second straight day on Thursday, telling folks they won't be left behind. One small sign of hope is power outages are slowly getting better in this area. You can see crews behind us working now, which is one small sign of hope for the families that live here. In Swannanoa, North Carolina, Caroline Elliott, Fox News.
Coming up, the port strike continues.
Thousands of dock workers are still on strike, shutting down ports along the eastern seaboard and Gulf Coast. I'm Connor Hansen in Brooklyn, New York, with a look at how this could impact the economy. Coming up.
The dock workers strike is impacting 36 ports on the East Coast and Gulf Coast. Both those ports handle roughly half of the nation's cargo from ships, leading to growing concerns of supply chain disruptions. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen has more.
Thousands of dock workers are still on strike, shutting down ports along the eastern seaboard and Gulf Coast. I'm Connor Hansen in Brooklyn, New York, with a look at how this could impact the economy. Coming up.
Costco is now selling platinum bars for just over $1,000. The Swiss-made 1-ounce bars retail for $1,090 on the big box chain's website. A Costco membership is required. The offering is an expansion of the collection of precious metals the company sells. Costco is trying to copy its recent success with gold bars. The company started selling gold bars in 2023 and sold more than $100 million worth during the first quarter of that year. This year, Costco started selling silver coins for the first time at a price of $675. Amazon is once again hiring 250,000 workers for the holiday season. The number matches last year's holiday hiring. The full-time, part-time, and seasonal roles will be across customer fulfillment and transportation. Amazon says all seasonal workers earn at least $18 an hour. And up next, a popular meal under the sea could be coming to a Wendy's near you. A popular fast food chain got its hands on the Krabby Patty secret formula, and it wants you to try it. Wendy's is partnering with Paramount to launch the Wendy's Krabby Patty collab to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the beloved cartoon SpongeBob SquarePants. The collab features a Krabby Patty burger and a pineapple under the sea Frosty. It will be available nationwide starting October 8th for a limited time. Got to get your hands on a Krabby Patty. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate.
Israeli airstrikes continue in Lebanon, and its war cabinet is preparing to retaliate against Iran. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the latest on the war fronts in the Middle East.
Big Bang.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. A new court filing provides the fullest picture yet of the 2020 election case against former President Donald Trump, outlining what special counsel Jack Smith describes as Trump's private criminal conduct. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook takes a closer look at the filing and the fallout.
In a sweeping legal brief unsealed by a federal judge Wednesday, prosecutors laid out their most extensive case to date against former President Donald Trump for his alleged effort to overturn the 2020 election.
The filing starts with a very methodical presentation of the former president's efforts in each state to have the election results overturned.
The brief is partly a response to the Supreme Court's ruling this summer that granted Trump immunity for official actions. Special counsel Jack Smith's motion claims the former president took the steps he did as a political candidate, not as president, so he's not entitled to protection from prosecution.
The number one theme that you see repeated throughout this filing by Jack Smith, private. He argues all of this conduct was private, it was criminal, and it should stay in the case.
The 165-page document includes new details of Trump's frayed relationship with former Vice President Mike Pence and FBI evidence of Trump's phone usage on January 6, 2021, when rioters overtook the Capitol. Trump's team fought the release of the document, and the former president called it a, quote, hit job.
This was a weaponization of government, and that's why it was released 30 days before the election.
Trump denies all charges against him and is asking the judge for more time to respond to Smith's brief, pushing for a deadline that's after the election. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
On Wednesday night, an Israeli airstrike hit a residential building near the Lebanese capital's city center. This was the second Israeli airstrike to hit Beirut this week. At least 6 people were killed and 7 wounded. Residents allege that they smelled a sulfur-like scent after the attack. Shortly after, Lebanon's state-run national news agency accused Israel of using phosphorus bombs that are banned internationally. According to Lebanon's health ministry, over the past 2 weeks, Israeli airstrikes have killed more than 1,000 people in Lebanon. Almost a quarter of the victims have been women and children. Israel is not letting up on its strikes into Lebanon and is urging residents in over 20 towns to evacuate their homes immediately. As Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor reports, the Middle East is on the brink of a wider war as Israel's war cabinet prepares to respond to Iran's aggressive missile attack launched on Tuesday.
Loud blasts in central Beirut on Wednesday as Israel targets Lebanon's capital city. The strike hit a large apartment building that houses Hezbollah-affiliated first responders. At least 9 were killed. Israel is focused on taking out Hezbollah strongholds, but their ongoing strikes in Lebanon have killed more than 1,000 and injured dozens. Hospitals are overwhelmed.
There's no place safe in Lebanon now.
Israel's military has now issued evacuation orders for over 20 villages in southern Lebanon, signaling a larger ground attack is imminent. And Israel's war cabinet also has its sights set to the east after Iran launched its largest attack ever on the Jewish state Tuesday.
Those who attack us will face serious consequences. For every missile fired, we will respond with strength.
Stateside lawmakers are debating how Israel should respond and whether it should target Iran's nuclear facilities.
Support an attack on Iran's nuclear sites by Israel?
The answer is no. They have a right to respond, but they should respond in proportion.
It makes zero sense to me why Biden would take Iran's nuclear facilities off the table publicly. Why is it so hard to say all options are on the table and we stand with our ally Israel to support itself?
It's been nearly a year since Israel went to war following the October 7th attack by Hamas. With that anniversary coming up, the FBI says its agency is fully engaged to prevent any attacks on U.S. soil. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
A bit later, another worry when it comes to artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence could be arming school bullies with new forms of attack. I'm Shelley Painter with a look at how AI can make cyberbullying worse for victims. Coming up.
The arts.
Well, of course, we tied record highs today. High temps into lower 90s. Kind of crazy for this time of the year, but it is what it is. If we look outside right now, nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam, downtown Joplin. Clear skies, and we're going to stick with the clear skies as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Of course, we need rain. Most of us in a severe drought, even extreme drought once you get in northeastern parts of Oklahoma. Unfortunately, we haven't had a lot really over the past 6 weeks. Also heating up, mid-80s yesterday, today, into lower 90s. We're going to see lower 90s as we go through the next couple days. Temps outside for us right now. Most of us are sitting low to mid 70s. We'll drop back into lower 60s later on tonight. My camera went black and white. Guess it doesn't like to pick up on the city lights. All right, wind tracker right now. We have those south winds 5 to 10 across the region. These winds are going to actually pick up a little bit as we get into the weekend. Not bad tomorrow, similar to what we saw today, but these gusts will be pushing 20, 30 miles per hour by the time Saturday rolls around. Clear skies, entire Central Plains. There's not a whole bunch going on. It's pretty calm. We have a little wave right across the Great Lakes, but if you look west, there's nothing going on. That's what we're going to see as we go through the next several days until maybe some rain chances by next week. We're going to start tomorrow, lower 60s, warm, mid 80s by the time we get into the noon hour. And once we get into the afternoon, 91, 92. So very similar to what we did see today. Friday night, we drop back low to mid 60s. Once again, clear skies. Let's head into the weekend. Saturday, hot again, near record highs, high temps into the lower 90s during the afternoon. 62 to start, 85 by noon. Plenty of sunshine, high temp 91 on your Friday. Let's jump into 4-state Friday night high school football. Holding on to some decent weather, 81 by kickoff, 72 by the time we head into the fourth quarter. So here's the problem. All right, so in the summer, early fall, jet stream goes north. You can see it to our north. See these white lines? We are looking 18-ish thousand feet where you can see where the jet stream is and our storm energy. So as long as it stays to our north, that's where all the energy is. We get one wave on Sunday, dragging a front through. But as we go into next week, high pressure stays in charge. Now we get a wave or two that rotates around it. It may give us a few showers late in the week, but unfortunately, for the next several days, we stayed pretty warm or hot and mainly dry. All right, by Sunday, we do get a front that drops through, so upper 80s, but check this out. By the time we head into Monday, we're only looking lower 80s, so we're getting back down to where we should be for this time of the year. By Tuesday, couple little showers trying to pop up, maybe a random shower Wednesday. As we go into Thursday, maybe a couple little showers. It's not a big storm system, but a few little showers trying to pop up is definitely better than nothing. 91 tomorrow, 92 Saturday, 87 on Sunday, 81 on Monday. And then those chances, few chances for a few scattered showers, especially late next week.
Could use that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
With how warm it's been, it's probably too early to break out the hot cocoa too.
Yeah, give it a few weeks.
Just a few weeks. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Doug. You bet. Coming up in sports, Pittsburgh State football prepares to play its first game in 2 weeks. Plus, Welch High School football tries to remain undefeated. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
He wrote.
Well, Pittsburgh State football has its Hall of Fame game this Saturday against Missouri Western. Now, that's the only team that beat the Gorillas in the 2023 regular season, but PSU comes into this contest refreshed after the first of its 2 bye weeks.
I think it kind of had a big part on our mental. I think we actually took a lot of time getting ready physically and mentally, obviously. It was a big part in taking care of our bodies. I think it's going to help in the long run. And obviously, we get another bye week. I think we're going to take advantage of that too.
Just a sense of urgency. I mean, I think everyone knew, coming off that Washburn game, we had a lot to clean up. So spent a couple days just kind of focusing on us. Not a new opponent yet as the staff kind of started to prepare for Mo West and just kind of dove back into some fundamentals in all 3 phases, and obviously got some guys healthy, and then really started to kind of dive into Mo West towards the end of last week.
Meanwhile, Pittsburgh State volleyball in action tonight. The Gorillas fall to Washburn 3-1. They're back in action tomorrow night at Emporia State. Miami High School softball has a great chance to win a regional championship today. After the Lady War Dogs won their opener yesterday, they need to win just 1 game in 2 tries to become regional champs. Miami looking to win a regional title for the 3rd year in a row. Lady War Dogs taking on Oologah. In the circle for Miami is Danaea Green. She's on her game in this one. Pitches a complete 7 innings with 4 strikeouts and only gave up 1 hit on the afternoon. Green keeps her team in this one. It was a close one and a rubber match. We go to the 3rd inning. Couple of runners on base. Hayden Pilkington hits this ball off the shortstop's glove. That's an RBI single. It gets the Lady War Dogs on the board. It's 1-0. We go to the final inning of the game, same score, and Danaea Green closes this one out. That's an infield pop-up to end it. Miami completes the shutout. Lady War Dogs win 1-0. They are crowned regional champions once again.
These are the games that we prepare for all year. We preach pitching and defense. Our big postseason games in the past have been 1-2 run games, and so all year practice-wise, that's what we're preaching. Pitching and defense. And yesterday we felt really fortunate to come out and have a really good offensive day, but totally expecting 1-2 run game. And so when it happens, it's normal. Didn't catch us by surprise.
Meanwhile, in Class 2A, regionals took place last week. That means we're on to super regionals today, and Commerce and Fairland both are in action this afternoon. We'll start with Fairland. The Lady Owls host Howe. The super regionals are best 2 out of 3, with the first 2 games coming on day 1. So the Lady Owls fall 3-2 in the opener, but they win game 2 5-4. That means there's a winner-take-all game 3 tomorrow afternoon in Fairland. Commerce down in Stroud, an all-Tiger battle for the Super Regional. Commerce drops game 1 10-3, then falls 11-1 in the elimination game. Still a great year though for Commerce, who won their regional to get to this point. Meanwhile, Welch High School on its home field for some Thursday night football. The Wildcats are 4-0. They're at home against Billings. Opening drive of the game, Mason Clinton takes the snap here for Welch, rolls out to his left, and he can just walk into the end zone with ease. Wildcats take a 6-0 lead after scoring on their first drive. Now defensively, Welch gets after the quarterback, Brody Smith, with nowhere to go. He gets sandwiched between Cash Tucker and Cole Lynch. They take him down for the sack. Next Welch drive, Clinton completes the short pass to Cash Tucker. He just had the sack, and now here he is running away from defenders with the long touchdown. Wildcats extend their lead to 14-0. The defense would continue to stay strong. High snap here, then it's Tucker and Lynch once again who combine for the sack. A couple plays later, 4th and long, Cash Tucker, here he comes again. That's another quarterback sack. Turnover on downs as well. Welch with the football once again. This time Mason Clinton rolls out to his right. He's got nowhere to go, but he's got plenty of time, so he reverses field, cuts back the other way, gets loose for another running touchdown. Wildcats win big, 48-0. Welch improves to 5-0 on the season. Tomorrow night, obviously, we got a whole lot more high school football in the area. We're looking forward to our game of the week. That's Carl Junction, 4-1. They lost their opener. Been really good since then against Seneca, who's undefeated.
Yeah, that's going to be a heavyweight matchup for sure. Seneca's a great team this year. Absolutely. Thanks, John. Back with more after this. While bullying of any kind can cause traumatic responses, educators continue raising red flags when it comes to the capabilities of artificial intelligence to create more alarming types of harassment. Fox News correspondent Chanley Painter investigates.
While powerful artificial intelligence software can be used for good, technology experts are warning how school bullies can turn this tool into a weapon, creating a host of cyberbullying materials that make their victims' life worse.
Cyberbullying is a pretty broad term, but essentially it's the use of an electronic device or electronic communications to harass.
According to Dr. Catherine Siegfried Speller of Purdue University, deepfakes generated by AI programs are intensifying the online attacks.
Anybody can create an image that looks so realistic and then use it to harass or embarrass another individual. And because AI looks, again, so realistic, people can't tell the difference. And it makes it really difficult for victims to be able to claim that that is not a true representation of who they are.
Bullying in any form can be painful. The CDC says victims can face elevated risk for depression, anxiety, and sleep disorders, as well as experience academic hurdles and even drop out of school. Meanwhile, Dr. Siegfried Speller says parents should monitor kids for a phenomenon called self-cyberbullying.
Essentially, the minor creates a fake, account online and they harass themselves. And they're doing this partially for attention-seeking behaviors, but also because the minors believe that other people are bullying them. So if they are the ones that bully themselves first, that maybe it will decrease the likelihood of other people attacking them.
Researchers say roughly 6 to 12% of minors report engaging in this kind of digital self-harm. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
We'll be right back after this. The Gordon Parks celebration is underway at Fort Scott Community College. Parks grew up in Fort Scott and is remembered as one of the first African Americans to work for Life and Vogue magazines. KOAM's Lonnie Walton catches up with Parks' family and friends to see why his legacy is so important to the community.
The thing about exposure for young people is them seeing someone do something who looks like them. And I was able to see him be a director and be in the film business.
Kakai Ampa is friends with Gordon Parks. He says Parks' story is essential to the community and the country because prejudice is everywhere.
When our history is being taken out of schools, our history is being threatened to be told in a way other people really want it to be told. So we need to know about not just him, but the stories he covered.
David Parks is Gordon Parks' son. He says he has a strong connection with Fort Scott, but not just because his dad was born here.
I helped form the museum 20 years ago, so helped raise the money, get it organized.
Although Parks never received a degree, he was recognized for his work.
Gordon Parks didn't graduate from high school. Gordon Parks wound up with over 50 honorary doctorate degrees and never graduated from high school. But that was a different time.
Parks hopes his father's life touches all those who come across his story.
Well, he has a hell of a legacy.
Reporting in Fort Scott, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Events are scheduled through the weekend with the celebration ending on Sunday with a breakfast. Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. From all of us here at KOAM, have a great night.